to put it live so I could put it on the channel and shit, you know?
Got you.
Like little explanations and shit, upload them and shit to the YouTube channel and shit, just so like it's there available and whatnot, so people can see and if they have any questions, blah blah blah, or us, even us, I mean, I don't know how far that channel's gonna go, but it's just another like asset to the market, pretty much is what it
Yes,
is.
sir.
But anyways, so yeah, so we saw that price came down to test support, and this is something I was explaining to my girl. So like, how do we know price is gonna start, pushing apart? Is by first, did it come back to retest support? Was it a bullish candle that came back to test support? And then how far did that one bullish candle broke above um the previous candles, or even one candle, but that was just be like the beginning of it. So like, okay, so we had a price hit high, came back down to retest, failed to break, but in this one here, it came all the way down, and everyone's panicking because it went under this one. But realistically speaking, where price was supported, obviously right here started creating support. We could say somewhere here, we could say somewhere down here, but we want another candle to come back and test that zone, right? So essentially, yes, this one came down, created bearish, broke below this one. So the next task for the candle to start coming down is we need a big strong bearish candle to break below this one, come back, retest support, and then start pushing down, right? Create a low, come back up, retest previous where it broke, right?
Hmm.
And then if it doesn't continue going up and starts coming down, then we know that price is starting to look for bears. Okay, simple,
Yeah,
simple as
definitely.
that. I've seen price, go up, do a little resistance, push back down to the original one, and again, it's like in a bigger time frame, it looked like all it was doing was retesting support. But if you go on the 30-minute, 15-minute, 5-minute, it literally did like four or five structures, essentially pushing away from each other to continue going up or continue going down. So, that's something I explained on the guide where it literally it breaks down more than you could ever imagine. If you look at, the 4 hour, the daily, because that's all I've been looking at. I've been looking at obviously these time frames, but also the 4 hour daily, because you can tell where the trend is going on the daily. And once you start breaking it down on the 4 hour, it explains it in detail what is going to happen before it happens, because you see, because anything can happen at the end of the day. Okay. Anything can happen at the end of the day with the 4 hour daily because it takes longer to complete. However, once you see a setup form on the smaller time frames, they essentially work out for the bigger time frames. And it could be like a 70 to 80% chance that it'll go in your direction because you analyze it to the full and full by breaking down the smaller time frames and determining what location they're going, but also are they breaking highs and lows. That's the crucial thing, because if they're not doing this right here, if they're not doing this breakout, on the smaller time frames, you're like essentially in this time frame right here, and they don't pass like six or seven structures, and you're like, fuck, it created a high, fuck, it's coming back down, support, fuck, it's going back up, high, fuck, it's going back down, support. But essentially on the bigger time frames, all it's doing is doing this, like the same thing, but what it's doing is continuing the trend. But here it's like you're like, fuck, 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 fuck. Oh shit, now I broke. Yeah, because on the fucking 5 minute, the 5 minute is literally like all this bullshit. But then on the fucking 1 hour, you have your clean moves, and then you have your little bullshit here, little, comes back down, retests, and then it'll determine if it'll break past that. If it doesn't, continues going up, retest this one. breaks above it, comes back down, and then shoots up. Because what it's doing is retesting the previous area where price struggled to continue going up and continue going down. And the way that you're able to tell, a perfect setup there is essentially in this area, like right here. How did price start going up here? Why in this level? Because there was a range up here that price broke from, created a high, came back down to retest support, because this right here, it had price continue going down, it would have dabbled into the range, came back in, created like some type of resistance, and then shoot back down, because essentially you want it not just a straight down. You want it straight down at first, but then you want to go up gradually up and then start coming down again, because what is it doing? It's doing the pullback, right? Because it's retesting a previous area where price broke, and it broke right through it for bearish movement, and that was strong because, like I said, they used this level right here, and this high will never be touched again because price came down here. Like even right here, like price came down, retested, and it fucking retested because it couldn't break it, right? Because even right here, it couldn't break it either, So, it's really how you look at it that you have to make it clear. You can't just look at one time frame. You're like, oh shit, it crossed. It's gonna go in my direction. And then you look at the bigger time frames, you're like, wait a minute, this never crossed. Like right here, like essentially right here. This one broke right below it, but in this time frame, all it did was test the support. So we have the next candle on the 30-minute, right? The next candle came up bullish, right? But it's struggling in this area because of this previous area up here, right? But on the bigger time frame, there's no volume, right? There's no movement. There's not enough movement. Like I said, the setup, if you're looking to trade on smaller time frames, you can trade this candle here, 147,408. You're out for the day, 15 pips, or wait for another clean setup to continue going down. Like this right here on the smaller time frame was a perfect setup right here from 147,727 to 147,426. It's a 30 pip range. Once you establish the range, you can trade the range as long as you know it's a range and not be confused into what direction the market is going. Once you determine, and this is key, once you determine what part of the structure you're in and where the market is going, you can trade the ranges, back to back to back, and essentially you can make a shitload of money. But just don't get lost in the range, because it's super possible to get lost and then start questioning what start questioning why'd you lost, take a big ass loss, take a small ass win, and you're like, oh, okay, it's fine, it's fine, I can come back and make my money back. But like I said, essentially you want to be smart. That's why Raja says, like, only take 3 trades. If you win 2, lose 1, you're done. If you win once and lose once, then you're done. Never want to take 2 losses. If you take 2 wins, 2 losses, make sure the losses are smaller than your wins. But if you take 3 losses, make sure you risk manage the fuck out of it. If you didn't and you lost more than 5% to 10% of your account that day, just come back tomorrow, or wait for a different setup, but also minimize your risk. If you're risking 10%, minimize it to half of that, 5%. And the way that he says it per risk is by doing static risk. So what static risk is, essentially, if you're trading 4% of your account, you want to be smart. You can do 1%, 1%, 1% of whatever 4% of your account is. Give me 1 second. Hold on. Fucking getting itchy right now. So essentially, when looking at the trades, Like how you're saying on the 5 minute, um, the biggest, your biggest, well, from what you know, your basic information that you know is that if, let me change this color. If we have a bullish, big, let's say a small bullish candle. No, let's say a big bullish candle for this episode, for this particular example. And then we had our bearish, right? We had our bearish like this. The price had come down hard. Price came down hard. So how do you determine that price is going to continue up or continue down? What's your first determination on that? Whatever time frame, doesn't matter, whatever time frame. What do you need for price to go up? What do you need formed in order for price to continue up? And what do you need formed in order for price to continue going down? Off
So
the top of your head.
I look for, excuse me. First, I look for higher lows and lower highs. Uh, uh,
Okay,
oh,
let's I wish I had a better fucking keyboard. I would have been able to you know put it down. But okay. For the sake of the matter, we have highs, highs and lows. Okay, so we have our high, we have our low. Okay, what else?
um, would I be looking for a new zone?
Okay, where would the zone be going? Are you on your laptop, by the way, or are you on your phone?
I'm on my laptop.
Okay. Do you want to annotate it for me, real quick? I'm gonna give you control. All right, go ahead.
Where the? It's been a minute. Keyboard at? I mean, not the keyboard though.
Actually, you know what? Hold on.
Oh wait, up here. I think.
Okay, let's see. Um, we'll do new share whiteboard if it's easier. So we had our red, had our green. High, low. Okay, what's next? Remember, we're determining up or down. Like, how do we determine markets continue going up or continue going down?
Whether or not the that candle breaks the previous resistance, right?
Where?
Either up here. Oh, that's horrible. Or down here.
Yeah, the resistance up there and then support down there. So
Support.
yeah, whether it breaks below, okay. So we're gonna put okay. Now since we have this since we have this since we have this up here, okay, this right here is a key thing when looking for when prices starting to move and starts breaking the low when it previously broke the low but then came back up and then came back down for that impulse entry. This is essential for impulse entries. So we'll have wicks and shit where price had originally tested to the low, and price starts coming down like live trade, in those live trades, those are essentially breakout volume trades, where the volume kicks in, and there's breakout trades where there's no volume kicking in, and it's just gradually breaking it and testing it and then pushing up or pushing down. So, but when you get these right here, where their price breaks below or above a candle, it can determine a candle. It could determine, like a part of, pretty much a part of that where it could break below a wick or an actual full body candle, which essentially those are a little stronger. And really, those are just like big volume candles that they start forming. I'll show you exactly what I mean. But well, in this situation here, whether price below breaks below support or above resistance, and then this is just like, I just wanted to go over this pretty much, because I think it's essential when looking at the trades, when looking at the market. I mean, so okay, what else?
You kind of said what else I was gonna say. I was gonna say, like the volume of the candle. If it's like a strong candle, because
Hmm.
the stronger the candle, the stronger the candle, the more it tells you about what's gonna happen. Cause like
True.
I feel like just judging off of these two candles, I would say that it was gonna go up, not go down.
See, it's good. It's good that you brought it up, because, and it's good that we're recording this, because that's something I have to really go into depth is when it comes to wicks in ranges, wicks in breakouts, and wicks in continued push. So, and I'm glad you brought that up, because it makes sense when, like how you said right now, determining the wick is determining the direction. But like I said, it goes in into fuller depth, where resistance is, where support is. Um, you know, I've seen setups where, I'm just gonna do this in black and white, but I've seen setups where it's like, like this, like there's a big bullish candle, right? But there's no wick, right? There's no wick and whatnot. I mean, there might have been a wick here, but that's for that push over here. But there was no wick here, and the next candle starts going up, but then it comes back down as a wick, and it's a bearish candle, right? And it'll go like this. So in that situation right there, we know that price came all the way down, tested this full body candle. It gives me hope that price will continue still going up, because
Yeah.
we have this long wick here, right? But I've seen some where they have no wick and they just test it. So what that means is now um, they're looking to test down in that situation. They're looking to test down. And the simple matter is, price might start coming up, but then quickly reverse and starts coming down, breaks below this one, has not breaking below this one. So now it created a range. So now we know there's a range here, right? And there's a range here because of that simple matter. But had price, this one right here came up, tested this one, came back down, broke below this one. Now we're looking for price to start doing this, essentially. Start going like this, come back up, come back down, come back up, come back down. Essentially, they're doing this,
Yeah.
plummeting, right? And it determines on this side right here, if it breaks below like this, right? If it does that, or if it does this, it's gonna continue going up unless it breaks this previous high in there. If it doesn't break that previous high, it's gonna continue going down and come back and retest fully and do like even impulse entry, right? It could do an impulse entry, or it can do candle comes down, tests right here, closes, but we already had a previous candle here. The next one comes back and retests whatever bullish candle area that it was right here, because essentially it's retesting a high on a smaller scale right next to what we already know. It already retested here, retested here, retested here, and then price starts coming down as an impulse entry and breaks right through. Next candle will probably come back halfway or all the way. You know, it could happen, but you know, in big volume trades like that, it'll literally just start pushing down. You know, so and I know I cut you off, but I really needed to explain that to the followers because it's happened. Like I've seen it happen over and over again. So go for it.
Okay.
You have 1 minute, less than 1 minute to explain it. You know what? Let me just cut it off right here, and then I'll restart. I'll restart the Zoom. Okay.